Okay, welcome back to review number 3. Okay, so we solved for x, and we found our 3 x values in the last video, and we just explained a little bit about that. But what I was then confused, we wanted to then find this here. Okay, that's like to say the next step. Okay, let's find what the y value is, and to do that we then went back to our equation, and then we put x equals 0. Okay, so we put all these x's in equals 0, and I was just a little bit confused. I couldn't see the wood through the trees kind of thing, or trees through the wood, whichever way. Yeah, and I was just sort of asking the question, basically, why is it that when you do y equals 0, you get 3 answers here, and over here you can just put like everything to 0 again. I was just a bit confused why you do that, but essentially, when you kind of see what you're doing, this gave us this, or these 3 coordinates gave us here, here, and here. But for the y, when we're saying, what's y, we've only got one coordinate to find. Okay, this graph only crosses the y-axis once, right? And it only crosses this axis once when x. Okay, so that's where x equals 1. When x equals 0 here. Okay, and that's why you can essentially say when x equals 0, when all these points, over here, here, and here, equals 0, that's when you're going to find you get your y value. So although it was like, for me it was like, well, hold on a minute, we found 3 expressions here in this one equation, but now we're only just finding one equation. It's the convention that's quite confusing. But when you sort of see what you're doing, you see that there's only one point where the graph crosses the y-axis, then obviously, and at that point we've said that it's going to be at 0 when x equals 0. So then you can just put all these x's to 0, and for me that kind of demystified what we were doing. I was just getting confused with, when I was learning this, with just all the convention, the fact that you've got 3 equations here, and then you've got 1 equation here to solve for the y, and I was like, what? Why is that? And it really is simply a matter of confusing convention, rather than, when you suss out what you're actually doing, then okay, you understand it. And that was essentially it. So I think that's pretty much everything, and now we can kind of just get on with these questions, and just it's just a case of practice, really. And there'll be a few more sort of things that we'll pick up along the way. Some of you might be wondering, why we knew that when we sketch this graph and we join these dots up, okay, this crosses up. Why did we start from this way and end up, and to know that we get that, could it have been this, basically? And these are the things that we're going to learn along the way, so you need to be there for the practice, I have to say. So see you in the following questions.